Welcome back, True Seeker. Big news in the sports world today. Prince is going to have his own jersey for the Minnesota Timberwolves that they're going to debut November 16th, 2018. Minnesota Timberwolves unveil Prince-inspired uniform. This news comes today, November 1st, 11/1. Prince died April 21st, which is the 111th day of the year in non-leap years, kind of like 11/1. But they announced that it'll be November 16th, the day that they debut the jerseys. And why that day? Well, again, you got to know the code of letters and numbers. And this was a code that Prince was very much aware of. In 1983, he recorded the song "I Would Die For You." And he spelled the title of the song with the number 4 and the letter U and used the 21st letter. So I would die 421, like how he died on 421 April 21st, 33 years after recording that song. But notice, November 16th, 2018, a date with 65 numerology. In Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, Prince equals 65. And notice that in Gematria, Minneapolis, Minnesota equals 93, as does Minnesota Timberwolves. Minneapolis on the 93rd meridian. Philadelphia Eagles equals 93. They won the Super Bowl there last year. From Prince's death to the unveiling of the jerseys is 939 days. And doesn't that look like 93 in the reflection of 93? That game is going to be against the Minnesota Timberwolves. What jumped out to me about this game is that the Minnesota Timberwolves have 33 wins against the opponent. And you might recall that the day Prince died, he died on the Queen of England's 90th birthday. Queen Elizabeth turned 90 years old the day Prince died. Prince was 57 when he passed, a difference of 33 years. And there's only two numbers that, when written out, that sum to 33. One is 90, like how old the Queen turned, and the other is 16. England also has the Gematria 33, I should mention. And speaking of 33, the Portland Trail Blazers are from Oregon, the 33rd state. And again, Prince recorded the song "I Would Die For You" in 1983, 33 years before his death. Also, I noticed the opponent could get their 82nd win. Oftentimes when home teams have a tribute to somebody in the community, for whatever reason they lose. But Trailblazers could get their 82nd win. Jersey 82, Trailblazers 82. Just a thought. With regards to Prince in basketball, I covered this the day he died. You know, and if you weren't following me in 2016, after Vanity died before the 58th Grammys, I pointed out that Purple Rain equaled 58, and what was encoded in her death foreshadowed Prince's death, and I said expect to see the passing of Prince very soon. And he ended up dying April 21st. The last basketball game Prince ever attended, if you were watching SportsCenter the day he died, this was a feature story on ESPN that they talked about all day, and they talked about how Prince was a big fan of the Golden State Warriors, and the Golden State Warriors were going to play his music for the rest of the season. Anyway, Prince, the last basketball game he ever went to was in Golden State. It was the Warriors versus the Thunder when Kevin Durant was still on the Thunder. And the Warriors, notice that game was also on March 3rd, 3-3. The Warriors won that game 121-106. Special score. Oracle Arena is 106 feet tall. Consider the word prophecy equals 106. Prince on the Tavis Smiley show said all we can go by in this world is prophecy. That's the same broadcast where he told the world that they're spraying the skies with chemicals to affect our mood and behavior. But in that broadcast, Prince said all we can go by in this world is prophecy. The word prophecy has gematria of 106. Also, with regards to the score being 121-106 in Oracle, Warriors equals 121. So does Revelation. Consider the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the book of prophecy, Philadelphia. The Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia gets its name from Revelation in the Bible, the final book of the Bible, the book of prophecy. And notice, Revelation and Warriors both have gematria of 121, which makes sense. Again, they're originally from Philadelphia, which is named from Revelation. Revelation and Warriors also have gematria of 49. And this post is pre-Gematrinator. This calculator didn't exist back then, but back then I just used to know the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Warriors, Revelation. Alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. And prophecy with the alphabetic order, 106. So, this score, 121 plus 106, that's 227 combined points, which is the 49th prime number. And the thing about 227 being the 49th and the last game Prince going to being a Warriors game summing to 49 is that from the date that he went to that game to the date he died was 49 days later. It was also 1 month and 18 days. Remember, death equals 118. Prince Rogers Nelson equals 118. We talked about that before he even passed. And if you go back and look, they opened up Prince's home as a museum on October 6th. Not by accident. Prince said all we could go by is prophecy. He attended Oracle Arena. Oracle means future telling. Prophecy. Again, the entire world of sports, entertainment, news, it's all scripted together. And obviously, Prince's death was foreshadowed going back as far as 83. And that said, I now want to read from my book, Letters and Numbers. If you haven't read my book, it's 773 pages, covers all sorts of topics. If you have a question, it's probably answered in this book. The longest chapter in this book is called Murder by Numbers, named after the song from the band The Police that came out in 83. The word murder equals 83. Murder by Numbers, it's about killing people as simple as ABC, 1, 2, 3. And again, 83 was also the same year that Prince recorded I Would Die For You. It came out in 84 on Purple Rain. An album that was released on the same day that Michael Jackson would die in history. A lot of parallels with Michael Jackson and Prince Rogers Nelson. But anyway, Prince Rogers Nelson, born June 7th, 1958, same year Michael was born. Dead April 21st, 2016. On August 3rd, 1983, a fateful day in numbers, and nearly 33 years before his death, Prince recorded the song I Would Die For You, spelled as if he knew about the future culture of instant messaging and texting. You guys get why I wrote that, right? You know, nobody was typing like this, writing for and you. In light of the title, consider the letter U as the 21st letter, and Prince died on 4/21, sort of like for you. Recall further, 83 was the same year Murder by Numbers was released by the band The Police. Even more, in 1993, he recorded the song 319, a number connected to Masonic and killing, syncing with how he died 319 days after his 57th birthday. Making the number even more interesting, if you write out 319, it has gematria of 57. And if you write 319, it sums to 65 like Prince and music. For another parallel, the day Vanity passed was the day leaving 319 days left in the year. On the day of Prince's death, and I'm just going to pause right there. In case you don't know, Vanity used to be Prince's girlfriend from the time of the days of Purple Rain. On the day of Prince's death, it was also Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday, older than Prince by nearly 33 years, a difference corresponding with the gematria of England as well as Masonry. At the same time, let us not forget that 90 has gematria of 33. For her birthday and the day of Prince's death, they lit up Niagara Falls purple, where Niagara also sums to 30. Even better, Niagara Falls equates to 47, 79, 101, and 223 in the 4 base ciphers, 3 of which have to do with killing, and the other being a signature of the game. 223 is an important number to Masonry. If you've read the book, you know what I mean when I write these sentences, because this is deep into the book. This is page 626. In terms of the color purple, it has gematria of 34, 74, and 84. As a reminder, murder connects to 34, killing and Masonic to 74, and poison, as well as arsenic poisoning, to 88. And as I say that out loud, I realize that the Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys that they're going to debut are purple. Purple does equal 34. They could get their 34th win with those jerseys. Adding to the riddles, Purple Rain and Queen of England both have gematria of 58, like Freemasonry, and the Grammy number 58 that Vanity died before. Again, Vanity died before the 58th Grammys. Even more interesting, Niagara Falls is the hometown of Vanity. Think about that. Here's the headline that I snuck in there. Purple lit Niagara Falls, CNN Tower mistakes as Prince tributes. Because it was supposed to be for Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. But was it really? I mean, Prince's death connected to Vanity, Vanity from Niagara Falls, Prince, royalty, the Queen of England. Anyway, for even more Masonic tributes, Prince Nelson, summing to 144, died 47 days before his 58th birthday, dying on a date with numerology of 61. Consider the word time has gematria of 47, 61, and 144, and Prince was closely associated with the group Morris Day and The Time. The next year, Morris Day, summing to 59 as well as 58, would perform the 59th Grammys at age 59, singing Jungle Love, a title having gematria of 42, and a song that begins with monkey sounds. If you'd read my book, Chapter 18 is about the race war, and that chapter begins by explaining how the numbers 42 and 59 have been coded all over black history in very negative ways. To his credit, his performance was sharp, but I highly doubt he was aware of the ritual mocking by the Longnoses that are his employers. Before those same 59th Grammys, Alwyn Jarreau, the jazz musician, was found dead, and not by chance the name Alwyn has gematria of 59. Of course, he was a black man. For more parallels to the royal family involving time, Prince William was 33 years old at the time of Prince's death, and his June 21st, 2016 birthday was to come 61 days later. The name Prince William also has ordinal gematria of 144, the same as Prince Nelson. Just as good, Prince George turned 33 months old the day of Prince's death. In light of the coordination of the death of Princess Diana, this alignment shouldn't have any surprise, and it just goes to show how well the chessboard is set by the Masonic tyrants for their planned rituals involving the taking and faking of taking human life. Earlier in this chapter, of course, we talk about the death of Princess Diana, just as numerological as Prince, synced up with all of the royal family. Either way, real or not, the death rituals hurt many people beyond the reported deceased. My sister and mother, among millions of other people, were very sad after the news of the passing of Prince. Also connecting to his death was his Super Bowl performance of Purple Rain, February 4th, 2007. To date, that is the only Super Bowl halftime show performed in the rain. And rain has gematria of 42, similar to February, and the date of the performance, 4/2. The reason the halftime show connects to his death is because the word Super Bowl has gematria of 41 and 112, and Prince died on the 112th day of 2016, on a date with numerology of 41. Again, April 21st, the day he died, is the 111th day of the year in non-leap years, but Prince died in a leap year. That was a span of 93 days before Minnesota would open U.S. Bank Stadium July 22nd, where both the state and stadium named sum to 38 like Prince, who is from Minnesota, which is to host Super Bowl 52. For the record, Minnesota also has gematria 52 like flood and glaciers. Of course, Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes due to the flooding caused by ancient glacial melt. As for his death coming a span of 93 days before the opening of the stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota sums to 93 in reduction gematria and is on the 93rd meridian west, bringing us back to Saturn. Further proving the significance of the number, because you haven't read the book, you might not be aware that Saturn sums to 93, the planet that is the keeper of time, having to do with death and judgment. Further proving the significance of the number, 93 weeks and 3 days after Prince's passing, he would be paid tribute to at Super Bowl 52 by Justin Timberlake. Ahead, you will learn about the death of John Blackwell on July 4th, 2017, who was the drummer for Prince and Justin, a name summing to 93 in ordinal. For yet another parallel to football, Prince performed his last show in Atlanta, April 14, 2016, at the Fox Theater. That was the city that would send the Atlanta Falcons to the upcoming Super Bowl to lose to the New England Patriots, who were in their 57th season in the scripted championship that was, and which we will examine in greater detail in the next chapter. Again, Prince was 57 years old at the time of his death, and when you write out 57 as a word, it sums to 131, just the same as Super Bowl, just the same as championship. In Super Bowl 51, the Patriots would run 93 offensive plays, a very large number, and one connecting to Prince's very timely death on the 93rd Meridian West. Adding to the Super Bowl 51 riddle was this headline from June 25th, 2016, the 32-year anniversary of the release of Purple Rain. First, notice the emphasis on yellow cloud, right here in this headline. Having gematria 51, corresponding with the word conspiracy in the upcoming Super Bowl at the time. Jim Irsay having named gematria 41, the owner of the Colts who won Super Bowl 41 that Prince performed in, defeating the Chicago Bears, was buying the guitar that Prince used in the same halftime show. Just to be clear, Prince performed in that same Super Bowl that the owner of the team who won that Super Bowl then went on to buy the guitar that Prince used. In light of him purchasing it on the 32-year anniversary of the release of Prince's most popular album, consider NFL has gematria of 32, and there are 32 teams. Further, as mentioned, Super Bowl has gematria of 131, and 131 is the 32nd prime number. Even more, in satanic gematria, NFL sums to 137, close to the purchase price of $137,500. Tying in, this guitar was purchased on a date with numerology of 67, connecting to satanic as well as blood sacrifice. The mathematics are as follows. Date numerology, 67. The sports riddles didn't stop there. In the world of Major League Baseball, another ritual would take place in connection to Prince. The player known as Prince Fielder would retire on August 10th, the span of 112 days from Prince's death, who again died on the 112th day of the year, finishing his career with 319 home runs, just the same as his father, Cecil Fielder, who also finished with 319 home runs. Again, Prince had died 319 days after his June 7th, 2015 birthday. For yet another parallel, Prince Fielder also retired 93 days after his own birthday and 42 days from his father's birthday. Consider the ritual came just before the 112th World Series, which would conclude on November 2nd, 2016, or 11/2, and which was won by the Chicago Cubs, breaking the 108-year curse. Of course, August 10th can be expressed as 10/8, and in ordinal gematria, Major League sums to 108. At the same time, World Series equates to 57, the age Prince passed at. Factoring in further was that the news reported Prince had to make an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, April 15, 2016, 6 days before his death, the same state the Cubs play in. This emergency landing came on his return trip from Atlanta after performing his last concert at the Fox Theater. Making matters even more interesting, Moline, Illinois was incorporated April 21st, 1848, 168 years before the date of his death. For yet another sports riddle, Prince's last NBA game he was able to attend was on March 3rd, 2016 in Oakland, California, where he watched the Golden State Warriors defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder 121-106 in the 106-foot-tall Oracle Arena. Consider Warriors have gematria of 121, same as the word Revelation, and the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia, the name that has origins in Revelation. Even better, if you sum the score 121 plus 106, it totals 227 points, which is the 47th prime number. Revelation as well as Warriors also have gematria of 49, and Prince would die 49 days after the game was played. At the same time, the word prophecy has gematria of 106, and Revelation is a book of prophecy. More importantly, Prince is remembered for saying prophecy is what we all have to go by now. That remark came on Tavis Smiley's July 20th, 2011, when he was explaining why he didn't vote in U.S. elections. Notice that was a date with numerology of 38 and 58. From Prince's death to the Warriors losing Game 7 of the NBA Finals to King James and the Cleveland Cavaliers on the real King James's birthday, June 19, 2016, was 59 days later, with 58 days in between, two numbers corresponding with Freemasonry. Let us not forget that King James, the Rosicrucian and the member of Freemasonry, died at age 58. That's important because Freemasonry and Rosicrucian both sum to 58. Just like Purple Rain, just like how Vanity died before the 58th Grammys. The Cavs would win that game 93-89, where Oracle Arena equates to 93 and King James as well as religion equates to 89. Of course, both NBA Finals and the NBA Finals have gematria 57, again corresponding with Prince's age of death. Continuing with the prophecy riddles, Prince's home in Chanhassen, Minnesota would be opened as a museum on October 6th, 2016, emphasis on 10/6. From the time of his death on, I had been explaining the riddles of Prince and prophecy, and then they went and opened his home as a museum on the most perfect date. And for people who are following me, they know exactly that's how it was. I must have talked about Prince and prophecy and made 40 videos on his death. Talking about it every single time. There were so many things. Making it perfect was the fact that October 6, 2016 was a date with 52 numerology, and the word prophecy has gematria of 52 and 106. At the same time, let us not forget that Minnesota also shares gematria 52, same with Paisley Park, the number connecting to Kabbalah. If you're not aware, his home is in Paisley Park, where it was opened as a museum by the numbers. The number connecting to Kabbalah, Tree of Life, Etzah Chaim, gematria, and more. To be clear, Paisley Park is where his home, now museum, is located, in Chanhassen, having reduction gematria of 38, the same as Minnesota and Prince, and at the same time reminding of Graceland, which is also now a tourist attraction. That's Elvis's home. Elvis also died by the numbers. Graceland also 38. Another home turned into a museum. And in case you're thinking any of this is coincidence, let me share with you this headline from Prince Fielder's retirement about his $106 million gift. So right here, Prince Fielder's goodbye present, $106 million through 2020. Then I made a little joke here that perhaps with the 2020 reference, they're hoping people can see their riddles clearly by then. Going back in time, Prince's mother, Mattie Shaw, born November 11th, 1933, had died February 15th, 2002, 14 years before the death of Vanity on the same day, and 112 days before Prince's 44th birthday. Again, Prince ended up dying on the 112th day of 2016. 44 is a big kill number. The word clock also equals 44. Think about Prince, Morris Day at the time. Minneapolis is also on the 44th parallel north. It's on the 93rd meridian. Adding to the intrigue, the name Mattie Shaw has gematria of 38, and she died on her 97th day of being 69 years old, or 96 days after her birthday. If you'd read the whole chapter, we've emphasized a million times that 38 and 97 are numbers that connect to death in the base ciphers. As you know, the word death has gematria of 97, and so does the name Prince. It reminds that Prince's death was blamed on the drug fentanyl, having gematria of 34, 38, 97, and 119 in the four base ciphers, similar to how Prince equates to 38, 34, 65, and 97 using the same methods. Also interesting, her maiden name Shaw has gematria of 57, corresponding with Prince's age of death. That same number also factors into his father's death, who passed August 25th, 2001, 57 days after Prince turned 43 years old. His father was the musician John Lewis Nelson, born June 29th, 1916. His name had gematria of 211, the 47th prime, and the name John Nelson summed to 144, matching Prince Nelson, and also time. Think about how 211 is the reverse of 112. So here's a headline about the PM on rapper Prince, who died shortly after Prince. He died at age 46. For yet another riddle, 57 days after the death of Prince, June 17th, 2016, a date with numerology of 59. The word kill in Jewish gematria is 59. 59 is the 17th prime, and reduction gematria, kill is 17. A date with numerology of 59, the rapper Prince B would die at age 46 from kidney disease, the same cause of death Vanity died from, on the 46th day of the year. Factoring in, his birth name was Atrell Cords, having gematria of 199, the 46th prime number. Then nearly a full year later, April 12, 2017, it would be reported that Charlie Murphy was dead at age 57, who was remembered for participating in the Chappelle Show skit about Prince and basketball. We'll touch more on that ahead. Charlie Murphy's death's in here, along with many other people's. Prince once wrote a Donald Trump song, and it is spectacular. That was a headline. For one last point, in light of Prince dying at the age of 57, 47 days before turning 58, let us not forget that Trump, Agent 47, was the winner of the predetermined 58th U.S. presidential selection later that year, November 8th or 11/8, where Prince Rogers Nelson has gematria of 118, same as elevator, same as death. Remember, Prince was found in an elevator. In case you don't know, Trump and Agent both summed to 47. Again, he won the 58th U.S. presidential election. This is interesting because Prince had a song called Donald Trump Black Version. To build on the parallels, think about how Purple Rain has gematria of 58 and how his death was connected to the Queen and royal family. As a reminder, so was Trump's convention in Cleveland, beginning by coming out to the song We Are the Champions by Queen, 88 days after Elizabeth's birthday, where both Elizabeth and Trump share gematria of 88. Same with Purple. Once president, he would also make Betsy DeVos his Secretary of Education, who is the sister of Eric Prince, the billionaire that owns the military mercenary company formerly known as Blackwater. I bring this up because Eric Prince's father, Edgar Prince, was found dead in an elevator March 2nd, 1995, a span of 63 days from his upcoming birthday at age 63. Not by chance, the name Prince Nelson also has gematria of 63, the number corresponding with Freemasonic and Rabbinic Judaism. At the same time, 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, and that is the year Prince passed and Trump was selected. So, tons and tons of deaths and undeniable documentation of what's really going on in this world, these sick rituals. The word I didn't know when I wrote this book that I've learned since, thanks to my friend Darrell, who works in the radio business, is Svengali. It's this word that represents the evil in the entertainment industry. And Svengali is represented with a drawing of a spider. And notice spider and Svengali are both 35. Spiders spin webs. It's a web of connections. If you missed my work on the death of Aretha Franklin, check out the videos. They're still up. Her death and Elvis's, they both died in the same day in history. Their deaths have a lot to do with 35. And their deaths are absolutely webs. You know, Aretha Franklin's death has just as many parallels and connections as Prince's. So, those were the main points I wanted to share. There's even more to Prince's death. I just put in the best of what I had made videos about into the chapter, but there's even connections to Johnny Depp, and there's a whole lot of information there. So, yeah, Baphomet's 35, so is Satan. Make a video about Ripple XRP. Hello, everybody. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm just seeing if anyone's got anything interesting to add or share. I don't know what conversation's going on in the chat right now. So the 49ers game. Well, in the decode, we mentioned the possibility of the 49ers winning and the Raiders falling to 5-5 on Thursday Night Football, which is what happened. Thursday Night Football equals 257, the 55th prime. 49ers equals 55. The game was on John Gruden's 77th day of his age. The series now between the 49ers and the Raiders is now 7-7. When you write out 77, it sums to 49. The final score was 34-3. Difference of 31 points. That's the 11th prime number, the first game of the 11th month. 34 plus 3 is 37, and the quarterback who got his debut was named Nick. Nick equals 37 with the alphabetic order. The 49ers became 6-6 on Thursday Night Football. That's the 66, the 11th triangular number. Here we are again at the beginning of the 11th month. So those are some of the things that stood out about the football game. Denim, I saw that email. I'm gonna check that out. I'll make a video on that. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, it's hard to find out when they're having the halftime tributes in advance of the game, but I'd like to know that too, because that would be a dead giveaway. Almost every single time a team has a halftime tribute for a player or retiring a former player or coach or something like that, they lose nearly every time. So yeah, Boston over the Bucks 7-1. I said that made too much sense. Celtics 71. So you're welcome, Richie. You are welcome. Well, there's always more, Frank. There's always more. H. Holmes. He died on May 7th. He was talking an awful lot about 5'7". How old was he? He was 30. Was that right? He was just shy of his 35th birthday. He was 34. The word murder equals 34. Yeah, sometimes I can take a look at H. Holmes, but seeing that he died at age 34 and murder equals 34 and he was a serial killer, I mean, we already see something going on there. I'll take a look at it later for you, Frank. Here, let me take a screenshot so that I remember. Dan Barrett's here. Dan Barrett's got a great observation about the jerseys. Sees Dan's comment? Minneapolis 55, Target Center 55, Timberwolves 55. Remember the Patriots fell to 5-5 in Minneapolis in Super Bowls. Dan writes, they are going to wear them 5 months and 5 days before Queen Elizabeth's 93rd birthday. Minneapolis, Minnesota, 93. Minnesota Timberwolves 93. Yeah, we hit that one. It's also 939 days after Prince's death. Yeah, great work, Dan. Comes right back to Queen Elizabeth again. For people who don't know, Dan Barrett right here in the chat, Dan the man, he's been doing gematria decodes like this longer than anybody else right after me. Dan found my work and went to town and, in no time he surpassed the teacher. So this is someone you definitely want to subscribe to here, Dan the man. Yeah, the observation about 2 years and 6 months is a good one. Yeah. Queen equals 26. Big number. In the day she became queen, the coronation. Yeah, that's right on. If you search for Zachary K. Hubbard on Twitter, on people, it comes up with NFL and FBI accounts. Oh, that is interesting. John says, buy the book. Thanks, John. My girlfriend is home. She's just studying. She's just studying away. But I do got to get off soon. She's only going to study for so much longer. All right, you guys. Thanks for the support again. Glad that Dan the Man showed up. He's always got some great bonus points. Waiting for Dan the Man to come back on the radio show. He's got my number. I said, call me anytime you want to come on. It's been like a year. When are you going to call me, Dan the Man? All right, you guys, be safe out there. Zach's scared of the chat. What do you mean scared of the chat? I don't understand the comment. I'm not scared of the chat, if that's what you meant. But everybody have a great night. Thanks for the support. And, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow most definitely. All right, take care, Truth Seekers.